let's talk about your back, particularly your lumbar region and why it's sore. When I bike fit people, I always send them on their way with a smile on their face, but a lot of exercises to do. So I want to go through 3 things today that will change the way that you ride and hopefully help your back. And we're not going to talk about the bike's too big, the bike's too small, the reach is too long. We saved that for some special videos, so make sure you're subscribed to the channel. But the first thing I want to talk about is, why is the lumbar getting sore? Well, it's potentially because your glute's not working. So the very first thing that I want you to do on every single ride, whether you're indoors or outdoors, is switch on your glute. And we do that by using our bike. So I'm about to go out and make this video for you. So what I'm going to do is my feet 10 to 2 pointing out, and I'm going to do just a nice easy, using my bike to balance, squat, and when I come to the top, I squeeze my butt cheeks 3, 4, 5 seconds, and I hold them. Now I know that sounds and looks a little bit funny, but what I'm doing is I'm telling my glute, boom, come on, switch on. Because guess what? Modern society means you've got a lazy butt. I know that you're thinking, I'm not lazy, coach, but your ass is lazy. And here's the reason why, okay? So, your pelvis, okay, is a stabilizer. So whether you're dancing at a party or drunk at a retirement do, your stabilizing comes from the pelvis. So what we're going to do in today's video, I'm going to show you your rocking ability. But before we go, let's take a little seat, okay? So maybe you're somebody who sits down a lot during the day, maybe at work, maybe just watching TV. And when we sit, we have a temptation to do this. We sit and we collapse. And what's happening when I collapse is my pelvis is now upwards, boom. When I lean forward, my diaphragm gets shut down basically. But also, watch my head. I lift my chin away from my torso, and I'm doing everything with my head up like that. Now we do that on the bike. Guess what? It causes problems for the old stabilization of the pelvis, but we can fix it. And we can fix it in a couple of easy, simple ways. Do you want to come a bike ride with me? We'll do a little ride and I'll tell you how you can do your own little bike fit and you can fix it. But you've got to understand, if you want to ride this thing, you've got to do the work off the bike on your ass. So, step 1, 10 body squats before you go. We'll shut the camera down. I'll do the 9 others with my helmet on, just in case I slip. Studio's nearly finished. Keep watching the videos and you'll see it all taking shape. So when we're on the bike, lumbar pain, usually stiffness in the lower back. Well, stiffness is soreness when it comes to the back. Yes, the back I'm talking about. So what I want you to understand is the pelvis and the glute is stabilizing. Yeah, stabilizing that area. So when you're on your bike, what's happening? You're rocking side to side, aren't you? Of course you are, a little bit. Now remember, when we're pedaling, what we're trying to do is create effective force. So as a bike fitter, I use effective force as the sum of all the forces driving us forward. Okay? That's really important. A score of 30%, believe it or not, is a good score. Holy crap, coach, I could get 30%. Well, you've got forces from the side, and depending on your shoe, cleat, pedal, chain, drive chain, oh my God, we could go on. Everything that's moving us forward. Right, get back to why my back hurts, coach. Because your bike at 8 miles an hour and above goes on its own, doesn't it? So what happens when we go slower than 8 miles an hour? You're going uphill, aren't you? So on the bike, as you're going uphill and you're doing under 8 miles an hour, your front wheel's moving, isn't it? Yeah, you're fighting and you're moving your front wheel. It's not in a straight line. Is that you? Well, think about this now. Why are you not gearing down? Because you're macho and you're tough. The fact that you're then over-torquing and you're twisting your pelvis more and more, and your glute is deactivated in the first place, your poor little lumbar, that poor little weak muscle, is now trying to stabilize your pelvis, and it's not very good at that, and it will fatigue and it will tire quickly. Now, sure, there may be issues that your bike is too big for you, your reach is too long. As I say, if you're subscribed to this channel, you're going to see some great videos on how we can identify that and fix it. But you've got to do something now. So what we've got to understand is your gearing is probably ineffective for the strength of your lumbar and the activation of your glutes. So what are you going to do about it? One, you're going to activate those glutes. You're going to start to do much more work off the bike on the glutes. You're going to do the squats that I showed you at the start of the video, and you're going to be aware of it when you're approaching anything under 8 miles an hour, because your bike can only keep balance with you. Remember, even at over 8 miles an hour, your bike is a beautifully balanced machine, but you are shit at balance, and you've got to understand that. You've got to work at that. So gear down and try and understand the movement, because here's the goal. Imagine that you have been called to the local village. You're the only person with a bike. You have to get water. All the kids are dying. They need water. And they send you to the well. And you get the water. And then you're cycling up the hill. And you're moving side to side. And all the bloody water is coming out of the buckets. And you arrive at the village with no water. And everybody dies because you can't get them water. That's a little bit extreme, coach. Think about it. Effective force, driving us forward. What is your lateral movement? You're losing force, okay? Yeah, you're cycling your bike like a spaniel's head out of a car window. Don't do that. Let's dial in and try and stabilise the pelvis while we're on the bike with less side-to-side movement. Test it with that front wheel. How straight can you keep it when you're going slow? It's not that easy, is it? Use your gearing, okay? Don't let your ego dominate. And also, if you spin down in a softer gear, you'll actually save fuel. Okay, next point, let's get back on the bike. It's a beautiful day here. I've actually overdressed. How many times do you hear a Scotsman say that? Someone's shouting at me from over on the hills. I can't see them, but someone keeps shouting out at me. Hello! Okay, the next point, and a really important point, is how you sit on your bike. So I often see shit sitters. Imagine being a shit sitter from Sittingbourne. If you're from Sittingbourne, my apologies, I've never been. I've been to Eastbourne, lived there for a year. Imagine Jason Bourne came from Eastbourne. Right, anyway, back to the point. Are you a shit sitter? Think back to the start of the video when I sat on the little stool and how we collapse. Do you sit down a lot during the day? Maybe so. Do you stand up every 10, 20 minutes? Oh, my watch tells me that. Don't do it, coach. You've got to understand that when we sit on the bike and we collapse, okay, and we collapse through the pelvis, and we have that slumping effect, and I push my chin out in front, okay? I'm now actually hinging through my head, and my head weighs 5 kilograms. Yeah, I've got a big head. A head can weigh between 4 and 5 kilograms, okay? Used to be the phrase that women had a smaller head and a smaller brain, but we're not allowed to say that anymore, and I would never say it in the presence of my wife, okay? So don't do that. Okay, this is a channel for all, very important. But when we sit and we have this collapsing action, okay, and my chin comes out, basically you're trapping your diaphragm and reaching forward, but what's happening is your pelvis is in the wrong position, so it becomes very difficult for the glutes to do their job and stabilise. So you've got to get yourself into a position whereby you are actually engaging your core, and your core is everything inside your shoulders to your pelvis. So what work are you doing on your posture? Push-ups, core exercises like planks, we're doing glute bridges, we're doing work to work on our trapezium, our latissimus dorsi. These are muscles that must hold you on your bike. If you can't hold your upper body on your bike, you're going to collapse and you're going to have a bad back, okay? But it might just be a stiff back. It is fixable if you do the work. So I challenge you to get someone to video you on your bike. You're out for a little group ride, just pass your phone, okay? Just delete those dodgy pictures of your friend's wife, okay? Don't do that. But anyway, get them to video you so that you can see your posture. Get them from the back, get it from the side and from the front, but not while you're indoors. Because when we are indoors, our lumbar is in a more fixed position due to the pelvis being static. There's no wind, there's no hills. Oh, there is on Zwift, coach. I know, but they're not the same, okay? So you may find that your lumbar is actually becoming sore because your glute is so far away from the middle of the saddle. Yeah. But that's another video. What I want you to do is to try and get footage of yourself while you're outside riding, preferably on a flat and then on an uphill, because then you can get a scene from the back to actually look at the pelvis moving, and then you can correct that. Once you see it, you can visualize it, you can actually act on it. Super simple. Okay, so summary, activate your glutes. Do that with 10 full deep squats with an isometric contraction at the top for 5 seconds. Get on your bike, you've just woke up your glutes. You can do glute bridges and all sorts of different exercises, but the squats work. While you're out on your bike, understand under 8 miles an hour, your bike needs you really to support the balance. If you cannot hold the front wheel in a nice controlled way, you're over torquing and the gear is not quite suitable for you. Sure, you've been doing this and you can get up the hill, but it's not good for the stabilisation of your pelvis if you're moving side to side. And remember about those children, you got to get the water. 2 buckets of water on your handlebars. Can you keep the water in there? Then how do you sit? Are you a shit sitter from sitting bone? You've got to get your sit position. Do not collapse. And if your chin is coming further and further out, okay, and you're leading your rides with your chinny chin chin, then you're putting far too much pressure through the neck, and this is going to lead to the pelvis in the wrong position, and boom, lumbar says, bye-bye, ta-ta, I'm not playing today, so go home, I do not want to cycle, feet up. You'll get miserable, you'll spend more time at home, that's not good for you, you need to get out on your bike. So, fix the lumbar, and you're on your way to becoming a bulletproof cyclist. Do you want to know how you can become bulletproof? Check out the video that's about to pop up, where I speak to a member of the team who is 100% bulletproof, and their transformation might be the motivation that you need. You take care, I'll speak to you soon, and don't forget to subscribe or hit that thumbs up.